Hello, friends. Z Giuliano. It is the 8th of March, 2022, and I'm bringing you a pirate chain video for the RBTC price chart. The historical price chart is what we're going to look at first to get some context of where we are now, and then we're going to jump through the weekly and then into the daily price chart. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen over here, and we're going to see a historical view of pirate chain price chart. It's a logarithmic scale. It is from against the BTC pair. And there are three main zones, I guess, that we might say currently. I'm seeing here this low level of accumulation, this mid level of accumulation, and then the peak here, previous all-time high. Okay, so let's start from then, of course, where we are now. And where we are now relates back to the previous peak of all-time high. And then I'm not really talking about this new similar peak of all-time high that we have here. I think right now we're looking at the price in relationship over here to all the way back here at this previous all-time high. So interestingly, we started this clearly accumulation range because then we shot up here and that peaked lower high and then dump all the way down to new lows. So this became overall a new accumulation zone, potentially a historical accumulation zone. And especially in this purple range here, where the price was able to funnel, to wind up, basically to be accumulated over time. And it involved a couple of peaks up here into the previous accumulation zone. But I think this range also is chosen because it does have a support resistance level to it. So this is, there we are with this accumulatory price action. And then we shoot up into that original accumulation range. And this was in the about August of 2020, I believe. I don't have the exact date, but comes out of there. And then it ranges around here in this accumulatory range. Clearly, this is important support levels with some deviation and important resistance levels as historically noted on this chart. And so here we are after this previous markup, which took us to wild heights against BTC and against USD at that time. We have the subsequent markdown distribution. And here we are now having found support at a key level and then a resistance here, and then a support again at that key level to confirm what was previously a key zone here. And interestingly, yeah, it just chops it out nicely. We pop above that zone, and now we are finding support at the level which was previously all-time high, finding key support above this zone. So this is a huge move, potentially speaking. Okay, obviously it could come back down. This might just be a deviating move that comes back down into the zone, and we keep going further off toward the right in our time axis. However, just where we are after having come out of it and now finding it as support, okay, this could be a key time because already we were back in this accumulatory, well, potentially final accumulation zone. And we'll look at it when we look at the daily chart. And yeah, so that's about where we are for now. I wanted to bring this up. Obviously, this is a key time. It could come back down into this band here, which would completely be fine and healthy, and we would look for hopefully a higher low or whatever. Maybe it would have to range a few times. We don't know what it needs to be. But at this time, I think this is a nice positioning and has the potential for it to be the support of a key accumulation that might have started, around back here, and this whole thing would be accumulatory. But anyway, that's another time for another set of distinctions. So we're going to move away from this chart. I just want to notice this upper band here, previous all-time high, important support resistance action here, and finally breaking out, getting that support. Let's see what happens next. So we're going to, from here, move into a different, yeah, we're going to go there to the different chart. And now we're going to check this pirate chain price chart against BTC, the ARRR BTC price. And okay, we're already on the daily. I just want to go to that weekly once again and remind us, like even on the weekly, okay, firstly, we've got this narrowing of Bollinger Bands happening. So something will happen one direction or the other. Okay, volatility up or down. But we have this supportive action on the 20-week moving average after having broken above. Now you can imagine from the previous chart, broke above that lower zone, and now we're finding support at like above the previous all-time high. So, you know, that's where we are, and that's on a weekly. So important action price-wise here. And then we come back to a daily price chart and fill it in even more. And so that's where this whole range can become a big accumulation, with this lower end here being like a big opportunity to grab at the lowest of lows. Now that's just one thought, one possibility. Okay, none of this financial advice, and of course can go back down. But recently we were wondering, and yes, it did come up, touch the 200-day moving average. It got into this cloud. It did get all the way up here. It's fought through this whole cloud. Okay, and on a daily now, when looking at price, we start to see in relation to Bollinger Band and Ichimoku cloud. Okay, also in relation to making higher lows. Okay, compared to the February low, but also here potentially making a higher low than this previous low here at the end of February, beginning March. Now we're getting a next low and potentially higher low, but maybe not. Maybe it has to come down all the way to the bottom Bollinger Band. Maybe it's going to dump even more. But I want to recognize here opportunity at some point, whether at some point, whether it is in this region here, okay, or even here to cross over the Ichimoku. This is even still a thin Ichimoku cloud relative to this part of the Ichimoku cloud, okay? And yeah, and then again, we can have some narrowing Bollinger Bands, but we'll see how this all plays out. Either way, at some point, we're looking to test this 200-day moving average again, and this time try and get over and hold strength there. But in the in these kinds of moves, we're looking for something equal or greater than that in this sense. Otherwise, we're just dealing with maybe a zigzag trending move, corrective upwards, and then we'll do something back downwards, and we'll see how this goes. But either way, considering the historical scenario, okay, and then looking at that weekly scenario and even the daily, like we're looking to see, will this MACD cross over, or does it still need to go down first and have a bit more negative momentum before it'll cross over and give us more bullishness? It has spent on a daily some time previously, over 6 months, let's say, roughly, in this negative territory here. And so finally popping back over, yeah, let's see how this goes. It's an interesting time for the pirate chain price chart. So those of you who are watching, I'm just wishing you very well. And RSI is not screaming anything sexy, not the way it was maybe down here or here. But having said that, it might be ready for another move higher. I feel like this is the least informative indicator. And so, yeah, here's our opportunity here to squeeze over. I think that's where we are. And it's nice to see a more narrow Ichimoku cloud, at least up to here. This is into April, first week of April, April 5, April 6. And so there's time for the price to even stay lower and then go higher. In terms of retracements, out of curiosity, where are we right now from the big move? Touching off that 61.8 roughly region. So don't want to go much lower than that. I think the strength here is to make the higher low and then do whatever you're going to do, but just keep it at a higher low. Otherwise, it doesn't mean it has to pop right now. It could still wind down or do whatever it needs to do price action wise, but you don't want to go lower than 61.8. Otherwise, then we start considering that you're going to come back down here to about the 2200 level. And okay, well, you gave it a shot, and then you're back down here. And then in the historical chart, you're back down into that rectangular zone we had looked at at the beginning. And that's it, that's all. Other than that, things are looking really good. And I would like to close it out here. I don't have much else to say. Wishing everyone very well. Yeah, Pirate Chain price chart on the daily, looking good. Why not, huh? Okay, so until next time, that is it for the Pirate Chain price chart. I'm Giuliano, wishing you all the love, peace, happiness that you can manage. Until next time, live free, live like a pirate.